Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It's Friday, October 24th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
I've had my share of sin kicked in my face, but I've come through.
The cast of We Will Rock You, the musical, took some time out of rehearsals to put their own spin on a Queen classic in honor of the Blue Jays.
We have been working on the song, Galileo and I, and then we got all the cast yesterday, so we learned the song yesterday. Thankfully, we all know this song. And then, yeah, we just were like, this is the best way to support and show our love.
In celebration of the Jays' epic Game 7 win to clinch the American League East and advance to the World Series, the cast of the upcoming Mervis production remixed a cover of We Are the Champions.
Of the World Series.
Singing We Are the Champions with what's going on in Toronto right now is just like a perfect fit. Even like other Queen songs like I Want It All or We Will Rock You, like they're anthems that are perfect for what's going on during the World Series.
A musical ode to Freddie Mercury and Queen to help rally fans behind Canada's team.
And if anything, they're the underdog, which I think is totally represented by Freddie Mercury and his music and his magnetism and his reach. So I think you're drawing an apt comparison there.
The new production features an all-Canadian cast beaming with national pride.
The Jays are kind of more than Canada's team at this point because I'm not sure anyone is in the Dodgers camp anymore, which might mean that the Jays are the world's team.
Go, Jays, go!
The cast is hoping to celebrate a World Series win and the opening of their show We Will Rock You, the musical, here at the CAA at Mervis Theatre that runs from November 28th through to January 4th of 2026. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Themes ranging from Halloween to Valentine's Day, 9-year-old Olivia custom makes her earrings. They clip on to hearing aids and sit outside of the ear. Early word of mouth generated sales and donations of beads and supplies, which allowed her to even make certain jewelry for local seniors. As I mentioned, the idea came from an encounter with another young hearing aid wearer. Olivia says it was important to her to try and make the girl feel better about herself. And that is when Livy's hearing aids came to life.
We just got more supplies from my mom, and then we got a pair, and then I'm like, well, if I have all this, I have like way more, then maybe I should just make maybe more, but what am I going to do with all of them? Maybe I should make a business.
It's great to see people happy. Like, I hate seeing people upset. It's the worst feeling, but seeing people happy is the best.
She is a super creative soul, and she cares so deeply for so many, and she just had this great idea and just kind of ran with it, and it's taken off.
The pairs go for $4 each, and orders can be placed directly through Livy's Earring Aids social media page. Olivia and her mom are also hoping to get a booth at a local market this upcoming holiday season.
The road to the NHL has been a long one for a young man who grew up not far from the Trans-Canada Highway in rural Cape Breton.
25 years to kind of get to this point, and it's kind of realized my dream.
Colton Ellis's first start in net for the Buffalo Sabres against the Detroit Red Wings couldn't have gone much better. He made 27 saves in a 4-2 win, including a number of highlight reel stops, and was named the game's first star, all with a big crowd of family and friends watching from a private box.
I found out yesterday in the morning coming into the rink, so kind of had the day yesterday to prepare and get a bunch of my family and everybody in.
I don't know if you could have wrote a better script for it, actually.
Ellis's father, Brian, was there. He remembers the challenges helping his son find the proper playing time and competition to pursue his goal of playing pro.
Well, there's been a lot of miles, a lot of rinks we went through, and Colton has put a lot of time and effort in as well as we did, and he was determined, and he had a dream, and he stuck with it, and it's starting to pay off for him now.
Me and him are, I think, 2 of maybe 6 boys in our class, all the way until probably grade 8 or grade 9.
Brad Chandler and Colton Ellis have been close since childhood. He says becoming an NHLer hasn't changed his best friend one bit.
Nothing was given to him whatsoever. I mean, from where we came, even his resources, I mean, we didn't even have a rink in Waikagama for the majority of his childhood.
It's a good thing I can't see you guys. I think I'd be a little more nervous.
That was Ellis's reaction to being interviewed post-game by goaltending great Henrik Lundqvist, acting more like a starstruck fan than the first star of the game. As for what it meant to have so many people from back home in the building to support him,
I was actually pretty emotional kind of before the game, before I got to the rink, just kind of thinking about all the sacrifices they've made to kind of get me where I am today. So definitely couldn't have done it with all my family and everybody here tonight.
An NHL debut to remember, and a win that was hopefully the first of many. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Zach Kijig of Owen Sound is an Indigenous chef who owns and operates Nagan restaurant in the city's downtown. While his dinner here will be served locally, a recent ice cream recipe is making international headlines. He teamed up with Chapman's Ice Cream to win an international award for a new flavor that pays homage and respect to his heritage while curating the ingredients of Indigenous culture.
It's been a great opportunity for us to showcase Indigenous food and put Indigenous food on the map of Canada.
The two created a new flavor called Sweetgrass, maintaining Indigenous heritage.
We've been serving a version of the sweetgrass ice cream, in our restaurant on the tasting menu for quite some time, but I wanted to showcase it on this sort of a level to, introduce people to Indigenous culture.
Chapman's no stranger to different flavors of ice cream, as they have about 180 in total. Chapman says they approached Kijig with the idea and knew it would do well internationally.
We said, let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can make this into like a real ice cream that we could kind of, market as a collaboration. So it worked.
And worked it did. International awards, international attention, and now big expectations to possibly keep it going.
We are always experimenting with different flavor profiles, but most of them don't make it in any way, shape, or form close to a grocery store. But this one was unique.
I'm hoping that it inspires other Indigenous people, to take a shot at putting their stuff out.
So what's next for the sweetgrass flavor? Chapman says if they can get it to a stable extract form, that may open the door for it to be available at your local supermarket. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Markdale.
Jeffrey's Garden started with a simple vision, helping Indigenous families living with addiction reunite.
When I see the diverse people coming through here and seeing their struggles, that we can sit down and have an honest conversation.
The organization has helped dozens of families since they opened in 2020, but the future is now uncertain.
The last few months have been a really big struggle for us.
Executive Director Cindy Huckerby says Jordan's Principle provided 100% of their funding since November 2021. The crisis began when the funding through Indigenous Services Canada was pulled in November 2024. Since then, Jeffrey's Garden has been trying whatever they could to stay afloat.
My partner ended up pulling money out of his line of credit in order for us to make payroll, so we didn't have to do that. There was a lot of sleepless nights that were happening through that.
The organization is currently at full capacity with 7 families. While we could not identify these women due to privacy concerns, mothers at Jeffrey's Garden are concerned they could lose access to a place that is helping them.
Making these relationships with these moms here is it's very important. It's nice to have people going through the same things you're going through because you know you're not alone.
Huckerby says they have continued to ask the province for additional funding, but have not been successful. In a statement to CTV News, Families Minister Nahani Fontaine writes in part, "Our department has been in ongoing communication with Jeffrey's Garden around provincial funding opportunities and has met with them directly to provide further information. We've written twice to the federal government this spring and again after that, meeting to advocate on behalf of continued Jordan's Principle funding and seek clarity on how Ottawa will fund all organizations supported through Jordan's Principle." Huckerby says they recently got funding from Jordan's Principle for a few families, enough to allow the organization to stay open for at least 3 months. Thomas says his team is not going to give up looking for funding.
We believe that what we're doing here is worth the hardship, because at the end of the day, it's all about the children.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Preparations for the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy are well underway. In St. Albert, preparations of a different kind have begun.
And right now, I'm trying to get back into shape.
Kevin Ransom has been given a task he can only dream about. He's been selected as a torchbearer for the Olympic torch relay in Italy.
Italy is a beautiful country, great culture, great history. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You can't turn those down.
Ransom is taking his daughters, Callie and Katie, along for the ride. He'll run a section of the torch route in northern Italy sometime in December.
They say like 200 to 300 meters, so it's a relatively short distance carrying the torch, but I don't know if I'm going uphill. I don't know if I'm going downhill. I want to be prepared. I don't want to be out of breath by the end of it.
Ransom has struggled with anxiety and depression since he was young.
I think there's a really sweet metaphor about carrying the torch, carrying the light to start the Olympic Games, and finding the light inside of you and bringing it out, and because it can go dim sometimes.
He wants to use the opportunity to inspire others. Merrick Takash, CTV News, St. Albert.
Dr. Sally Kennaway was up with her 5-year-old nephew watching the Jays, but he didn't get to see the Game 7 winning homer by George Springer.
He really wanted to, but he got so tired, poor guy. So he went to bed in the 5th inning.
He got the winning score in the morning.
And so they updated him, and then they let him watch some highlights this morning before school.
Kennaway says she's a huge Jays fan, as well as Humber River's chief of pediatrics, and parents have some room for negotiations about bedtimes during the World Series.
Every kid is different. Every parent knows their kid best. So if a child has an important test the next morning, an important event, then maybe try to negotiate going to bed earlier. And some kids, just the way they are, just their nature, they need routine.
For kids 5 and under, make a deal like her nephews to go to bed midway and catch up on highlights the following morning. But for older kids?
So it's a historic moment for Torontonians. Let the kids stay up, make an event out of it. They'll build memories. And you can actually use it as a learning experience.
For example, like how to handle the emotional roller coaster of winning or losing, and good sportsmanship.
George Springer got hit by a pitch. The other team was booing. A lot of kids are going to have questions about that. And I don't think that's something that should be encouraged, booing other teams when someone gets injured. So I think we need to be really conscious of our own behavior and what we're doing, and know that our kids are going to model that.
If your child is tired the next day, a nap could help.
A limited nap after school, like a 30-minute nap. We're not talking 2-3 hours.
But she says fortunately 4 of the World Series games are scheduled on weekends, making things a little easier for fans and families. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Alberta,
This quilt marks a historic milestone for Quilts for Survivors. It will be the 8,000th time the not-for-profit group has honored a residential school survivor. Quilts for Survivors launched in June 2021, and the original goal was to deliver 215 quilts to First Nations communities. This one is going to a woman in Siksika, Alberta.
Now 8,000 and still going. I don't even know how to put into words how I feel. I'm very, very blessed.
As support for the endeavor grows, Genier vows to pair more quilts with people who request them, regardless of where they live.
Maybe this time next year we'll be at 10,000, but we're just going to keep making them until people stop asking for them. We're going to try to get every living survivor, whether they're day school, residential school, 60 scoops, or other traumas, everyone's going to get one.
A councillor representing Missinaba Cree First Nation, Genier's home community, says the quilts help recipients feel less alone.
I never even heard about residential schooling until once the government made their apology. It was never spoken of in my side of the family. So once the apology was made, then I'm like, what? I had to do my investigations, ask the elders and find out exactly what happened.
Quilts for Survivors mails out 5 quilts a day and says to meet its goals, volunteers are always needed. It's trying to attain new equipment and is looking for an investment partner to help it buy a new long arm machine. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, South Porcupine.
Kyla Thompson shared her daughter Bella's story of bravery and resilience in front of hundreds of students.
Just 11 months after receiving her life-saving bowel transplant, the surgery that finally gave her freedom from the pain of her failing bowels, I lost my daughter. Now I've had to learn to be braver than I've ever been before. Brave enough to keep going, brave enough to keep sharing her story.
Thompson gave the presentation at the annual Youth Matter Canada Mental Health Symposium in Melfort, hoping Bella's story could help youth who are struggling.
Everyone has some really difficult stories, and I just hope to be someone, a family that understands, and if they can feel that connection and I can help them get through something really difficult in their life, that matters to me for sure.
The students age 11 and older heard from different speakers throughout the day, sharing stories of resilience. Students say the symposium has helped them learn about mental health.
I've learned different strategies to help with my own mental health. I've struggled due to bullying and such in my past in elementary school. But these symposiums and meeting other people and hearing their stories have taught me how to be brave.
There are many people that suffer from mental health issues that don't get proper treatment soon enough.
Laura Lawrence says she founded the symposium to inspire youth.
We just really hope that the youth feel a sense of community and connection, and that they're inspired to just take one action to help support their mental wellness and to always remember that they matter.
The symposium has been running since 2019, and this year, 15 schools were in attendance. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Melfort.
In just under a year, the Foo Fighters will be playing in front of throngs of fans at Mosaic Stadium. For followers of the group, the excitement is palpable for the first live show at the home of the Riders in over 5 years.
There's going to be 25 tour buses that are rolling through. It's going to be a big set. And the fact of the matter that we are one of 4 places in Canada to get it and one of 12 in North America is absolutely huge.
The last show played inside Mosaic Stadium was Garth Brooks' 2-concert series in 2019. Representatives of Real say the process to line up the Foo Fighters took several months and are confident that the Queen City and beyond will pack the house on September 15th.
We feel much more confident that Regina's appetite for live entertainment, for large-scale venues, and the band's popularity as well. You stitch those two together, and the Mosaic Stadium, being the most modern CFL stadium in Canada, is an absolute perfect match.
Both Real and the city are hopeful that landing a big stadium concert is a sign of good things to come.
I think I want to see the momentum continue, and I think we're starting to see a bit of a shift, and really we're putting Regina on the map, and I think we're going to see not only Regina residents enjoy an amazing event, but also people traveling from North America coming to Regina.
Sutton's love for the Foo Fighters stems from his parents getting him into Nirvana, and now he is sharing his musical taste with his younger sister.
I passed down the Foo Fighters to her, so the fact that she gets to see them live at 16 years old is going to be such a cool experience for her, because it's, it's a lasting lifetime memory, and there's going to be a time in her life where the Foo Fighters will never tour again, right?
Sutton says his all-time favorite Foo Fighters song is a tie between Learn to Fly and Everlong. He will hopefully get to sing along to all their hits in September if he's able to snag a ticket when they go on sale next week. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
There we go. Good work.
For grade 3 student Tariq, the best part about playing basketball?
Playing with friends.
There we go. And playing with new friends like 5-time Olympian Charmaine Crooks.
It was great.
It reminds me of when I was growing up as a kid and how much fun sport is.
Now, a new program in Ottawa is aiming to make it a little easier to play sports by offering free equipment.
Take a picture. There we go. Voila. We're helping to break down the barriers to sport and bringing access to sport anytime, anywhere.
50 self-serve lockers installed at parks across the city, most stocked with basketballs and soccer balls.
We have plans for pickleball, for softball, for baseball. There's also light exercise equipment like resistance bands and things like that.
This is just a brilliant innovation, and today's launch exemplifies our collective and mutual commitment to make sport more accessible for all children and youth, regardless of their background, circumstances.
It's a collaboration with the City of Ottawa, the Equip Sport app, and Canadian Tire Jumpstart.
This is an innovative way, one of many ways that we can reduce that barrier to participation by providing free equipment exactly where kids want them.
Equipment is accessed using the free Equip Sport app on an Android or Apple device.
So here's how it works. Even if you want to play basketball in the rain, you open up the app, go through a few prompts, and then you hit unlock.
You don't need a credit card, and there's no limit on how long you can keep equipment.
You can keep extending the rental for as long as you want to play.
Ottawa is the second city in Canada to have these lockers. A crew maintains the equipment. For these children, a chance to have fun.
My favorite part about today was definitely shooting on the nets. That was the most fun. I did great.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
He was on an emotional roller coaster and his body hurt constantly for close to 5 years. Chris Canales was struggling with how traumatic stress was affecting him.
I had reached a point in my life that 17 years on the fire department and all of the calls that I had gone on and experienced really started to accumulate and spill over into my family and personal life. There was emotional distance, there was anger, exhaustion, and just a depressive state.
He tried traditional therapies, but it wasn't until he turned to a holistic approach that he started to see a difference.
Trauma-informed yoga, breath work, Reiki, and somatic healing. A combination of these modalities has really allowed me to just tap into each part of my body and be able to understand and recognize what's going on.
Canales found a warrior's peace to share what worked for him with other first responders.
So he really has surrounded himself with other people who have a similar mindset on wellness, in that it needs to be holistic, it needs to integrate different approaches. And when we all work together, it's way more effective than any one modality or approach on its own.
Megan Ovia says the first responders who were in the program are benefiting from it.
We want to create a team and community so that the work that we do isn't just a Band-Aid fix, it's a systemic solution. So the person's nervous system is healed, the trauma can be worked on, and relationships can be improved as well.
Canales says he's in a much better space today, both physically and mentally.
Truly magical and crazy. I didn't think I'd ever feel that way, but it's just been amazing, and I live through it every single day.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
After happening upon this deceased duo, the first living person to walk past is Wee Wong.
It's just random guys.
Wee says skeletons start congregating round his house the day after Labor Day.
This is nothing compared to what's coming.
At least 2 will take over the truck.
It's storage.
Before another gets behind the wheel of the boat.
Every day some stuff trickles out of my garage and my basement.
And every day, after working as a mechanic,
I got boxes and boxes.
Wee will spend a couple hours with this spooky stuff.
People, they watch the progress, and they're walking by every day and say, ooh, 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 ooh.
Preparing for the big night.
You want a happy story?
Wee's Halloween story began when his family moved to Canada when he was 6.
When I was a kid, I used the same costume for years and years and years, right?
When he had kids of his own, Wee ensured that every year they could get new costumes and experience new thrills.
You know, basically, I had kids that are now grown up, and I'm stuck with the Halloween stuff, and they're gone.
But because Wee made so many happy memories with them, his now grown kids will come back to help their dad on Halloween night.
Need a hand?
To make memorable moments for the thousands of kids in the neighborhood expected to tour his display.
Some of the smiles are bigger than what Santa gives you.
Well, the skeletons are showing their age.
I'm 63 now, just an old kid.
Wee has found that giving back to the community like this keeps him young at heart.
Everybody's good at something, and I guess this is what I do.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.